This is our AT Consideration Project by Rachel Minkle and Brooke Hepp.
This is a project all about Max, so let's learn about him. Max is a 5-year-old who has been found eligible for special education services under the category of multiple disabilities. His doctors have diagnosed him with spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. Max has movement in his upper extremities characterized by athetosis and fluctuating muscle tone. This makes it difficult for Max to grip and hold objects for long periods of time. He also has limitations with the range of motion in his arms. His range of motion in his right elbow is 130 degrees, and in his left elbow it is 25 degrees. This range of motion and inability to grip objects makes it difficult for Max to dress and undress himself. Max uses a wheelchair for mobility, but he cannot independently move around in his wheelchair. He also needs support if he is sitting on the floor. Max has trouble articulating words clearly and seeing people and objects that are further away. As a learner, Max likes to interact with peers, but he needs proper wait time to carry out tasks and demands given by the teacher. Overall, Max enjoys SpongeBob SquarePants, Star Wars, and playing on the iPad. His favorite foods are macaroni and cheese, hot dogs, and applesauce.
In this project, the first thing we had to do was analyze 2 different tasks. The first task involved making a peanut butter sandwich. So now let's look at all the demands behind this task. When getting all your supplies out, you need to be able to see everything clearly, grasp or grip all your materials, maintain an upright position while moving from place to place or cabinet to cabinet. After all materials are gathered and placed on the counter, everything needs to be opened. Seeing all twisty ties and lids are necessary along with proper grips and fine motor skills to open the peanut butter and bread. When actually making the sandwich, fine motor skills and hand coordination are needed to scoop out the peanut butter, to spread with the knife onto the bread, and to put the 2 slices of bread together. After this, it's time to put everything away, which again requires proper grasp on items and walking from place to place. Then you can sit down and enjoy your sandwich. When talking about the necessary demands of making a peanut butter sandwich in relation to Max, there will be things he can do and things he cannot do. When it comes to perception of any kind, Max will need to see things up close, meaning 10 inches away from his face. In order to retrieve all materials from the cabinets or drawers, place supplies on the counter, open the peanut butter and bread, get 2 pieces of bread out from the bag, scoop out and spread peanut butter, put bread together, cut the sandwich, close everything back up, and put items back where they came from. Max will need to have all objects in his range of sight. When it comes to physical demands, Max will have to rely on his wheelchair tray because he cannot hold objects for a long period of time. He will rest all materials on the tray when bringing them over to the table. Max understands the steps of actually making a sandwich and knows what he has to do. He has trouble gripping and grasping materials. He may also have a little trouble with learning what to do with the utensils. These tasks require maintaining an upright standing or sitting position. Max can sit in his wheelchair with assistance. He needs shoulder belts on his wheelchair due to his low muscle tone in his trunk and the inability to bear his own weight. If the task requires Max to move from place to place, he will use his wheelchair for mobility. He cannot move independently in his wheelchair. Now we will discuss some features that could help Max perform all these tasks. When it comes to his perception abilities, he could use something that will enhance his visual perception of items that are not close enough to his face. When talking about the physical and manipulation of objects and materials, Max will need something that could make it easier to grip, grasp, reach, hold, and manipulate all objects when making the sandwich. Something that will enhance the ability to remain in an upright seated position will help Max with the demands of positioning. Lastly, Max will need a feature that makes it easier to move around the room in regards to his demands of mobility. Finally, we will discuss some AT devices that could benefit Max in both activities. The Good Grip jar opener will help Max grip and open the peanut butter jar. This item can be bought from the Patterson Medical Distributor, and it costs $16.99. Max will need to be taught how to hold this item. He will be able to have a lot of practice with it. The next item is the VZCR Reacher, which will help Max retrieve items that are high up in the cabinet. This item can be found from the same distributor and is $269.99. It is very expensive because it allows very little finger movement to operate. Max will need to learn how to put the device on his arm and how it works with the wrist movements. Then there's the Sure Grip utensils, which would help Max hold on to the knife when cutting the sandwich. This item is only $9.49 and can be found in the same distributor. Max will have to learn the proper way to hold and manipulate the knife. Lastly, the Zip It Zipper Pull, which can help Max zip up and down his pants when he is using the bathroom. This item can be found by the same distributor as the others, and it costs $11.99. Max will need to be taught how to hook the device onto a zipper to pull it up and down.
Our second task involved playing Candyland. To begin, you need to ask friends to play and retrieve the game off of the shelf. Holding the game and carrying it to the table is one of the first demands. You must be able to see and handle the box while maintaining an upright position. Next, you need to open the box and take out all of the pieces. This requires feeling, seeing, and gripping the game pieces and materials. After choosing the game players, cards must be shuffled, which requires the use of fine motor skills. When actually playing the game, you must be able to pick up one card at a time and move your player across the board. This also requires you to see the symbol on the card and the layout of the game board. Remember to take turns and follow directions. To win, you must make it to the rainbow box with any color. Getting there also requires the use of fine motor skills as you move your player across the board. When the game is over, clean up and put the game back on the shelf. These transition tasks require you to see and feel the game pieces, to grip the game pieces and the box, and to move from place to place. Within this activity of playing Candyland, there are several discrepancies between what Max is able to do and what the task requires. To begin the game, Max needs to initiate a conversation with his peers and needs to choose a game to play. This requires the use of sight to see others as well as the game. Max can only see objects and people that are 5 feet away. He has trouble seeing things that are further away. In choosing the game and bringing it over to the table, you must hold the box and move it from place to place. Max can set the game on his lap tray on his wheelchair and move about using his wheelchair. However, Max has difficulty holding objects and cannot move about in his wheelchair independently. Throughout the playing of the game, you must be able to grasp the game pieces and cards, see and recognize the symbols, and remain in an upright position. Max can recognize what to do with the game pieces and can see the symbols as well as the game board when these things are presented closely to his face, and he can also sit with assistants. Max has trouble gripping game pieces, seeing things that are further away, and maintaining a seated position without the use of support. Max often knows what to do while playing the game, but he struggles with the range of motion in his arms as he tries to move his game piece and draw cards from the deck. The same challenges are faced when finishing up the game, as it is put back in the box and placed on the shelf. Max can carry the game box on his lap tray again, but he cannot hold the box for an extended period of time, nor can he move from the table to the shelf without assistance. With all of these discrepancies, it is clear that some AT features should be considered. Having something that makes it easier to view the game would be beneficial to Max as he begins choosing what game to play. After choosing the game, Max needs to be able to hold the box and move to the table. The features needed here would be to make it easier for Max to grasp the game box and to make it easier to move about throughout the room. Throughout these steps, it is important that Max be exposed to a tool that enhances his ability to remain in an upright seated position. One other interesting feature to consider would be a tool that makes it easier to shuffle the cards. Instead of just not giving Max the option to shuffle, provide him with a tool that makes it easier for him to do so. Now, many of these features repeat throughout the game process. Making things easier to see is going to be very helpful for Max as he tries to read the game cards and the game board. Having a tool that makes it easier for Max to grasp items is going to be especially important. Holding onto game pieces and moving them across the board is a large part of Candyland. There are 4 assistive technologies that can help Max meet the demands of this task. One is a table magnifier. The one that we found is a 2x hand-free desk and computer magnifier from Patterson Medical. It costs $69.99. This tool will help Max see different objects more clearly. While playing the game, Max can magnify different game pieces as well as the game board. Looking back at making a snack, Max can magnify product labels and movements with his hands, such as cutting the sandwich in half. Though this tool is essential and hands-free, Max will need to learn when it would be helpful to use this magnification tool. This magnifier is also flexible, so Max would be able to bend the tool to different areas on his desk, but this will also need to be taught. The second tool is a gripper. The one that we found from Patterson Medical is called Flex Grip. It is $24.50. After gluing these grippers to the Candyland pieces or any other game piece, Max will be able to easily grip the now larger game piece and move it throughout the game. Max should be taught how to grip these objects. Even though he still has trouble gripping, they're larger, so he will be able to maybe grasp the objects a little bit better. The third tool is a seat belt for his wheelchair. The one that we found is called the Cushion Belt from Patterson Medical, and it is $18.95. This seat belt will be more comfortable for Max as he sits in his wheelchair throughout his snack, game, school, whatever activities. It will also help provide positioning control. No teaching is necessarily required for Max. He will need to become used to the new seatbelt, and his aides and teachers will need to learn how to fasten it properly. The final AT device or technology that we found is an electric wheelchair. Max has trouble moving around independently, so an electric wheelchair will help him. The one that we found is the Skippy Pediatric Power Wheelchair from Autobach. It is $5,817. This electric wheelchair will allow Max to move around rooms independently, and therefore he can complete tasks more independently, such as having a snack and making that himself, or playing a game and moving around the room for those objects. Max will need to be taught how to manipulate the movements of his wheelchair. A larger grip can be added to the controller to help Max, but then he will need to still be taught how to use this controller to move about the room in his wheelchair. This electric wheelchair will help the moving around in both the recreational activity and in the snack activity that I mentioned.
Thank you for watching our movie.